This is a very important lesson in percent math. You need to listen very carefully, you need to take good notes, and make sure that you understand everything that I say in this lesson. If you don't, let me know. You cannot proceed with percent math and be successful if you are confused about any of the information in this lesson. It's very foundational. So here we go. This lesson is on identifying the part, whole, and percent in a percent word problem. The big math idea in this lesson, it's actually big math idea number 5 in my room. I have a list of the big math ideas on my wall, and this one is number 5. And that big math idea is to get good at part-whole thinking. Part-whole thinking is really important for a number of different areas of math, fraction math, and now again percent math. And it's important for some other areas of math as well. Now, what I mean by part-whole thinking is this. If we can go back to the example problem that I presented in the very first lesson of this percent unit, the problem that I made up was that I had 20 students enrolled in my program, and that 50% of them were present on a particular day. And the question was, how many were present that day? Now, we know that 50% is equivalent to 1/2, so even without knowing how to do percent math, we could just, in our mind, calculate what 1/2 of 20 is to come up with the answer. And the answer was 10. So 50% or half of 20 is 10. Now, in that situation involves a part and a whole. The whole is the whole number of students enrolled in my program. The part is the part of those enrolled students who were present, because the other part of the enrolled students were not present at class. So here we have an example of thinking about what the whole is in a situation and what the part is in a situation. Now, in most percent word problems, you are going to need to be able to analyze and think about what the part is in the word problem, what the whole is, and what the percent is. Those are 3 parts of a basic percent word problem: the whole, the part, and the percent. You will have to know 2 out of those 3 sections of a percent word problem in order to figure out the missing one. So in some problems, you'll know the part and the whole, and you're trying to figure out the percent. In other problems, you'll know the part and the percent, and you're trying to figure out the whole. And in some problems, you'll know the whole and the percent, and you're trying to figure out the part. So the very first step in working toward successfully calculating answers to percent word problems is being able to distinguish the part and the whole. It's not hard to figure out what the percent is, because the percent is the number that always has the percent sign after it, so that's no big deal. But the big deal is getting good at part-whole thinking. All right, so I want to start with these 2 statements. 50% of 20 is 10. That's a standard little percent statement. And I want you to notice that I rearranged the statement over here. 10 is 50% of 20, because we will sometimes read or hear this kind of statement, but both of these statements are just 2 different ways of saying the same thing. So just read them again to yourself and get comfortable with the idea that both of these statements mean the same thing. Let me give you a moment to do that. Okay. So now what you need to learn how to do is to identify the three parts of a percent statement: the percent, the whole, and the part. And this one method of doing this analysis involves using clue words. And the clue words in these statements are the words of and is. So I'm going to tell you, if I can find my orange pen, here it is. I'm going to tell you that in a percent statement, as we have here, the number that comes after the word of is the whole. So I'm going to label the 20 as the whole. The number that is next to the word is, and sometimes that number comes after the word is, and sometimes it comes in front of the word is. So that's why I'm saying the number that is next to the is, that's the part. So let's go over, we've got the part labeled in this statement, but let's go over and label the whole. The whole is the number that comes after the of. So if you're just reading a statement like this and you don't have a situation to attach to that statement, then you're really going to have to just follow the clue words. And so this is it. So you need to pay attention to where the of and where the is. Okay, so in this statement, and this one, both of them, because they both mean the same thing, the percent, of course, is 50%. The whole is the number that comes after the of in both statements. That's the 20. And the part is the number that is next to the word is, either right after it or right in front of it. And that's the number 10. Okay. So make sure that you got all of this in your notes. Write everything down. Now I'm going to erase, and then we're going to work in the percent booklet on page 11. I'm going to go through page 11 with you. Oh, I guess I'll just take that off. Okay, here we go. So on page 11, I'm going to raise this, push this down a little bit. Sorry. There we go. Okay. All right. So the first section on page 11 is these three problems on row 1. And what we have are three statements that are in the same, they have the same structure as our 50% of 20 is 10. We have 20% of 90 is 18. And then we have two other statements. Your job is to identify which one of the numbers is the percent, which one is the part, and which one is the whole. I'm going to do the first statement. Well, obviously the 20% is the percent. Of course, it has the percent sign after the 20, so that one's obvious. The 90 is the whole, and because the 90 is the number that's coming after the of, and the 18 is the part. That's the number that is next to the word is. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I want you to pause the video and then do problems 2 and 3. Pause and then come right back. Okay, so for number 2, the percent, of course, is 60%. And then the $4.80 is the part. That is right next to the word is. So the 480 is the part, and then the $8 is the whole. And 35% of 200 is 70. The percent, of course, is 35%. And then the number after the word of is the whole. That's the 200. And then the number next to the word is the part, and that's the 70. All right, so hopefully you got all those right. Let's go to the next section. So 4 through 9. Now, on these problems, we have a similar statement to what we've been working with, but one of the parts of this statement is an unknown amount. So you're either going to know the percent and the whole, and you're trying to figure out the part, or one of the other two variations. And your job is to identify what it is that you're trying to find. What are you trying to find? Okay, so let me do the first one. 30% of a number, that means some unknown number, is 60. Well, we know the percent, and the 60 is coming after the word is, so that's the part. So the unknown numbers, and notice that it's coming after the word of as well, that's what we don't know. So 30% of a number is 60. What is this number? This question is asking us to find the whole. Now, I want you to try 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Identify what two parts of a percent problem that you know, and what is it that you're being asked to find out. So pause the video and do 5 through 9. Okay, so for number 5, the 6 is next to the word is, so that's the part. What percent means that we don't know what the percent is, so that's what we're trying to find. But notice that the 24 is coming after the word of, so the 24 is the whole. So in this problem, we know the whole and the part, and we're trying to find the percent. For number 6, what is, that sounds like we don't know what the part is, right? 45%, we know the percent, of 600. So the 600 is coming after the word of. That means the 600 is the whole, and so we know the whole. So for number 6, we're trying to find the part. For number 7, 15 is what percent of 75? Well, what percent? That's what we're trying to find, obviously, in this question. But notice that the 15 is next to the is, that would be the part. The 75 is coming after the of, that would be the whole. Number 8, 50 is 10% of what number? 50 is next to the is, that's the part. We know the percent, 10%, of what number? Notice that the mystery number is coming after the word of. That's what we don't know. That's what we're trying to find out. And number 9, what is 20% of 95? Well, we know the percent of 95. The of number is the whole, so we know the whole. And what is, what number that we don't know, that's coming right next to the is. So it's the part that we don't know. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here, and in the next video we will continue with the rest with the word problems at the bottom of the page.